We're close though. Mr. Dollar can take requests. We're very close. Jason, just give it to my hand.
Good evening, everyone. How's our volume here? Okay, can you hear all right? Good evening. We're going to kind of set our protocol here tonight. We're trying to figure it out, just like this whole long year. And so those of you that came with family tonight, you know, we've got the chairs really spread out. If you'd like to snuggle a little bit, you live together, that's quite all right. You don't have to stay so spread out tonight. But we set this for the normal kind of protocol for our school. We're also going to allow, if students and teachers would like, that when they're speaking, they'll take off their mask, and so we'll get a chance to see those faces for a change, which will be a nice switch for us. And so we will begin. We're going to go through this evening with our teachers being presented, and they will tell you what student they're going to be giving a tribute for tonight. And then we'll get to hear from each of those students their farewell address. So afterwards, then we'll have receptions, refreshments here. And I think then tomorrow night, as you know, will be our graduation ceremony. So we're very delighted to have Ms. Kay Jacobs. She will be our master's,
Whatever.
our woman of leading the ceremony here tonight. And she's done a fabulous job in this really challenging year with both the middle and the upper school, not only guiding and handling the academics for our whole school, but being a principal of both those two levels and teaching two of our English classes simultaneously. So really deserves a huge support and appreciation tonight. So please, Ms. Kay Jacobs.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome. This is a really special tradition at this school where teachers get to sort of laud and applaud the youngsters that they've been working with, sometimes for many years, sometimes just for 1 year. But because we're such a small community, we get to know each other quickly. For better or for worse, we know each other pretty well. And so the little bit of suspense we could have is which teacher is actually speaking for which student. So I'm going to prolong that suspense even further by only calling up the teachers, and then you'll have to let it unfold who they're speaking about, okay? And we all had a lot of fun sharing anecdotes with each other as we prepared these speeches, and we've kept them relatively short, just so that we can enjoy this beautiful evening together. But they're packed with, I think, some real insights and some real appreciation for the incredible senior class that we've had the privilege of working with this year. So without further ado, I'm going to call up our first speaker, and it is Miss Lori Iyer.
Don't know if I know how to talk without a mask on. Can everyone hear me okay? Is this going to work out? Okay. Montana claims it's big sky country, but here in Iowa, we have our own big sky. Our sky has a big intellect and a big heart. Are you going to? Sky, your sky. Need to come on. Sky is big on learning. Mr. Walls commented that Sky is a deep poetic thinker who really enjoys existential writing. Mr. Iyer, Sky has a subtle understanding of the inner workings of government at every level, from local through national, which qualifies him for this year's Social Studies Award. You have a whole pile of them. Dr. Pullman, because he gets it, no matter what the it was in our class. Skylar's intellect is mature and refined. He is curious, humble in his knowledge, and articulate, a budding young philosopher in his own right. Thus, Sky was selected for the Consciousness, Connections, and Life Skills Award. Sky, to me, represents both the expansive and courageous qualities of creative intelligence. He chose to skip Algebra 1 to take Algebra 2, so he could take AP Calculus in his senior year. I appreciated Sky in my pre-calculus class because he always wanted to know the why with the how. He struggled with his precision and procedures, but his determination to have a deep understanding helped him through. I told him I was concerned that AP Calculus might be too much of a challenge, but he took the course, persevered, and succeeded. Sky enjoys engineering, learning through applications to problems. He participated in robotics in 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. Sky researched, designed, and built his own quadrupedal robot, which won first place in the robotics and intelligent machines category at the Iowa State Science Fair. A big heart accompanies Sky's big intellect. Evaluated on his scholarship, leadership, service, and character, Sky was inducted into the National Honor Society. He participated in student government, was this year's co-vice president, volunteered with the local Rotary Interact Club, maintained and improved city beautification projects, and managed communications for a nonprofit organization which donates trees to elementary schools. Clearly, he is empathetic and passionate about improving the lives and circumstances of others. Sky is this year's recipient of the Iowa State Bar American Citizenship Award because he shows qualities of good citizenship as reflected in his day-to-day activities and has demonstrated full comprehension of what good citizenship means. The whole world is his family. Our big Sky has the courage to take on challenges and the talent and perseverance to accomplish what is beneficial to all. I am confident Sky will enjoy great success at the University of Iowa. On a personal note, Mr. Iyer and I are proud to have taught Sky and his mother, Launica, here at Maharishi School. Thanks and congratulations to you both.
Congratulations.
Okay. That's going to be really hard to beat. I never lose. I either win or learn. These wise words from Nelson Mandela reflect the philosophy I've carried throughout my life and time at Maharishi School. This attitude has found lessons in failure, endurance in exhaustion, and wisdom in uncertainty. With the coming novelty of college and inevitable challenges, it is a mindset I hope to retain. Today, I would like to share how this mindset has influenced the last 4 years of my life, and hopefully the next 4 years as well. As a freshman, I believed wisdom to be simply a product of greater age. And therefore, I believed as I got older, I would stumble upon understanding by virtue of the amount of time which had elapsed. I quickly learned, however, that this was missing a large part of the picture. As I began challenging myself to do better in school, the difficulty often yielded the greatest personal growth. On one such occasion, when I decided to build a four-legged robot for science fair, I found myself beginning the challenge unconfident and confused, but through trusting that regardless of my result, I would finish with valuable experience, I ended the project with self-assurance, decisiveness, and a greater sense of self-efficacy. Contrary to my younger self's belief, the experience didn't occur by pure coincidence. I had to choose to challenge myself for my own growth. I've learned that with difficulty comes experience, and with experience comes wisdom. Applying this mindset has taught me much, but I've also been very fortunate to be supported by many people throughout high school. I would like to express my appreciation for all these people. To my parents, I want to admire the unique and strong proactiveness to which you both possess. Your initiative in life continues to inspire me to be brave in the pursuit of my ambitions, and your unconditional support has provided me with the self-assurance to trust my judgment. To all my friends, I'm grateful for the love you have brought into my life. As we all may separate as we pursue our future goals, I hope we remain connected by fond memories of simpler times. To the teachers, I cannot thank you enough for your dedication and all of your hard work to keep this school going through the pandemic. You have held the school together during tumultuous times and provided an environment where we could finish our school year in person. Thank you. Lastly, to the younger students, treat every experience as an opportunity for growth. Every obstacle, setback, and loss is a chance to learn and gain experience. Your time is your greatest possession, so don't be afraid to use it to chase your aspirations. In the last year, we have all been faced with new difficulties. The future can be very unpredictable, but it is my belief that with life's changes comes an opportunity for reflection and admittance of the uncertainty which lies ahead. I'm excited for all of us as we step forward into the future. Let's all continue to seek growth, and we shall never know loss. Thank you.
Thank you, Sky. Our next speaker is Mr. Iyer.
I had to umpire Big Ten tennis matches in a chair with this on all spring. Players never understood my calls, and perhaps that was beneficial. It's my pleasure tonight, especially, to honor someone who has been here a short time, but made an enormously valuable impression. I'd like to introduce the salutatorian of our class of 2021. We know her as Jocasta. Please come up. I've tried and tried to learn how to say your four names, and I want you to say it so that I won't butcher it tonight. Here we are.
So yeah, my name is Trang Bùi Kiều Jin. So yeah, Jocasta.
We're delighted at your scholarly enrichment of our entire community in a short time. All the teachers have noted it, and as said, you've done so with a smile. Best wishes on that. Not surprisingly, perhaps, our salutatorian is a gifted math student who can certainly count to 17. Accordingly, Jocasta, I hope you'll enjoy hearing these haiku. Families are proud. Whenever we grow, we show the nature of life. We will never be more alive than when we give everything we have. A labor of love demands more than a job, but doesn't feel like work. And this for you and for the whole class. There are many roads to a best possible life. Choose the one you love. So Jocasta, absolute best wishes. We know that you're going to have fulfilling growth in your next chapter of life at the University of Utah. It's welcome.
Good evening, everyone. Friends, parents, faculty, distinguished guests, and fellow graduates, welcome. Congratulations, class of 2021. We're finally graduating. First off, I would like to apologize to Mr. Waltz because this is the first time I'm writing a speech that won't be graded, and I'm taking full advantage. So in these next moments, instead of worrying about whether I'm demonstrating my critical thinking skills or having enough workouts, whatever, I decided that this speech is going to be for you all, the class of 2021, and every word of this speech is going to be on me. First of all, I want to express my gratitude towards all the amazing teachers who have been spending an inhuman amount of time dedicated to teaching us. You have given us a lot to take home to think about besides homework. Thank you for challenging us to think further, work harder, and dream bigger. I don't think people say thank you enough to teachers, but thank you for the doors you opened for us, and thank you for imparting the ability to fight and open the doors by ourselves. I know you guys are nervous to send us into the real world because even though our IDs say that we're adults, sometimes our behaviors are far from them. But we'll make it because we remember what all of you have taught and prepared for us, and I do not think you all will be disappointed. I want to dedicate this section of my speech to my family who are on the Zoom right now, do not understand a single thing I say, but are still patiently watching me finishing my speech. My mom is a doctor. She is the busiest person I ever met, but not a day went by that she didn't FaceTime with me. She has always been the closest friend and the biggest support system for me, physically and mentally. However, my father is a complete opposite of my mom. He hates FaceTime, he hates texting, but his random text of "Ba thương con lắm," which basically means "I really love you," once per 2 months or even twice a day, never fails to bring tears to my eyes. Also, I always feel like I'm the luckiest kid in this entire world to have such two awesome siblings who I know will always be there, willing to welcome me and support whatever decision I made. So if you don't mind, I would like to speak in Vietnamese so that my family could understand what I'm saying. Trinh biết là Trinh làm ba mẹ với hai với Hân buồn nhiều, lo nhiều và Trinh nhớ nhà. Nhưng mà Trinh biết là mọi người lúc nào cũng ở bên cạnh Trinh, ủng hộ Trinh, nói chuyện với Trinh, nghe Trinh cười, nghe Trinh khóc, nghe Trinh càm ràm. Không có nhà mình là Trinh tèo rồi. Nên Trinh cảm ơn mọi người nhiều, Trinh thương mọi người nhiều. Nên là mình hẹn gặp nhau sớm. So yeah. I know I'm fairly new to Maharishi School compared to most of you who have spent literally your whole life in Fairfield. But spending only 1 year here made me realize that home doesn't have to be where you were born and raised. You can have multiple homes and they can be 8,334 miles away. So yes, Maharishi School is one of my homes and each of you are my extended family. We're all so diverse and different from one another. And it blows my mind whenever I reflect on how immensely all of you have influenced me to become a better version of myself. I do not think I have said this enough, but meeting all of you and getting to know all of you has been a huge blessing for me. When we had our first Zoom senior meeting before the school year started, my head was full of doubts and fears since I hardly understood anything all of you was trying to say. So how can I talk to those people when I don't even understand what they're saying? But do they even understand what I just said? How can I make friends when they're just nice students in the class? Am I too lame for them or are they too cool for me? But it seems like all those thoughts are meaningless because you guys are that cool for me and I don't think I'm that boring to be friends with y'all. So thank you so much for accepting me, loving me, listening to me, giving me the best advice, making me feel included, or just merely existing in my life. You guys made every single day of school worthwhile, and your company will be sorely missed when I move on. So I would miss giving Shristi sneaky COVID hugs throughout the day. I will miss Andriana's random bursts of laugh in the middle of the class. I will miss Skylar's all-time favorite question to Miss Asha. What is your favorite part of ... I will miss all the petty debates with you, Matthew, over whether the name of the ice cream shop is Dairy Queen, or being a Hawkeye is better than being a duck. I will miss seeing Budus enter Mr. Benesra class with both hands holding like 500 things, including his tennis racket or a banana. I will miss Romil consecutive unsuccessful plastic cup shots into the trash can every day after lunch. I will miss hearing Tony Charlie saying, "Hi, miss," when he's late for Miss Usher class. But don't worry, your pink cat headphones will also be in Miss Sage. So looking at you guys, the class of 2021, as much as I look forward to this day, I realize that after tomorrow, I may no longer see many of you. So this is a really painful thought, but on the other hand, I'm filled with anticipation because I have no doubt in mind that every single one of you sitting in front of me will have the potential to succeed and make a difference in life. So one more time, congratulations to the class of 2021. It has been a fun ride with you all, and from the very bottom of my heart, I wish you all the best. So yeah, goodbye and see you soon.
Excellent. David Pullman.
The young man who I will be speaking about tonight has a keen interest in investing in the financial market. But tonight, I'm the one who has some insider information for you. And here it is: buy stock in Ramel Patel. I've been a big believer in Ramel for the 4 years we have been in class together. On one of those school days, I once singled out Ramel in front of a classroom of his peers because I wanted to highlight his determined work ethic, his focus, his consistent effort to produce his very best work. The point was that these were harbingers of success, and Ramel brings these qualities to everything he does, inside and outside the classroom. I'm especially pleased to be honoring Ramel tonight because he has truly taken to heart and put into practice what I believe are the two most important takeaways from a Maharishi School education. The first is to have an appreciation and understanding that transcendental meditation is not just something we do at school, but is a lifelong tool that brings many lifelong benefits. To his immense credit, Ramel gets that. And he shows it with his decision to be trained in the TM City program, which is an advanced form of TM. Ramel is currently receiving that training, and his future practice of the technique will not be at school, but on his own time and of his own will. As learning the TM City program was the single most impactful and significant decision of my life, I am absolutely thrilled for Ramel to take this step and more fully explore the potential and power of his consciousness. For this achievement alone, I could not be more proud of you, Ramel. Thank you. The second takeaway from a Maharishi School education that I see embodied in Ramel is his growth mindset. When you have a growth mindset, you embrace challenges, you take on new tasks, you value the process and the effort, and you do not fear failures and setbacks. Rather, you value them for the lessons they teach. I believe Ramel leaves here with a growth mindset guiding his way. And I see it in his passion for learning about business, real estate, and investing. These are interests he studies outside of school, consuming content with a sincere desire to learn, improve, and develop. Ramel has said that he'd like to be the CEO of his own business someday. With his growth mindset and commitment to his holistic development, with his work ethic, with his humility and kindness, with his genuine goodness as a young man, I see it happening. Buy stock in Ramel. Ramel is this year's recipient of the Physical Education and Sports Award for his dedication to physical fitness and growth as a player on the tennis court. In the fall, he plans to further his education at Kirkwood Community College in Cedar Rapids, where he will study business marketing. And so it begins. Congratulations, Ramel, on achieving this milestone. And for all your shareholders out there, tonight we get in early on your rising future and look forward to your many abundant returns. And let me just add one more thing. Just one more thing. We got to give an award for the best dress. Is he not dapper? I mean, come on. And he totally rocked the prom. Everyone who was there knows he did. So congratulations, Ramel. Very good.
Real courage is holding on to a still voice in your head that says, I must keep going. It's that voice that says, nothing is a failure if it is not final. That voice that says to you, get out of bed, keep going, I will not quit. Who would have thought of the idea of moving to Fairfield, Iowa to enroll in a school based in consciousness-based learning, teaching concepts of meditation and life principles? Well, that happens to be my family and I. In May of 2015, My family and I moved to Iowa from Florida, making a huge transition in my life, growing up in the suburbs to now adjusting in a small town in the middle of nowhere. At first, I despised living here and wanted to live back home where I felt comfortable and live in a Sunshine State. Enrolling in middle school, I was nervous in the environment and didn't socialize with anyone until a few months later in 7th grade. And those 2 years living in town had mentally made me adjust to Iowan life. A fond memory of mine was when I was in middle school projects, my class and I were the first class to create the middle school garden out in front of the schoolyard, which will be a memorial to look back on. It took about a whole quarter to complete this garden project as it required tons of child labor. In freshman year, I tried out tennis and became a junior varsity player and learned the game and techniques. In sophomore year, I didn't have a team and had to compete by myself in games and in tournaments, and that was the year I was being coached by Steve Briggs and former state qualifier Chandra Morales. Training with Chandra was torture, as my teammate and I, at the time, had to wear a 10-pound vest and ankle vest running side to side on the court during the 100-degree weather. We called this training Desperation Day, where one person is running on the side to side on the court and the other is doing bodyweight workouts. We carried this tradition the year after in my junior year, and when we had a team, the boys and I went through the same torture. In my senior year, we finally had a season due to COVID-19 canceling our last season, and our team trained through the off season. The game of tennis changed my life by making me physically and mentally healthy throughout the last 4 years, and by going to the gym this past year helped even more with my health. I'm grateful for having mentors such as Steve and Chandra teaching me about the game of tennis and the mentality behind it. I'm also grateful for all the other teachers in my school that taught their classes in a unique way. Thank you, Mr. Corbett, for instilling your work ethic with me as we went through journaling and creating short stories. Thank you, Mr. Wallace, for having daily conversations about your life and for sharing your college days with me. Thank you, Mr. Iyer, for coaching me in freshman and sophomore year of tennis and for educating American history, along with sharing your stories back in the day about the voting system and how you voted at 24 instead of 18 when the 26th Amendment passed. Thank you, Dr. King, for having an exuberant way of teaching geometry and physics. Thank you, Mr. Benezor, for teaching me about credit score so I know how to increase it when I get a credit card and not end up in debt. Thank you, Ms. Asha, for teaching me fundamentals of anatomy and biology and for yelling at me whenever I was a few minutes late to class due to our 10-minute lunch breaks. Thank you, Mr. Wilkins, for your humorous attitude with teaching SCI, pottery, dealing with my sleepiness and meditation, and for always being a sprightly individual. Thank you, Dr. Bell and Dr. Pullman, for your daily intellectual TED Talks about life principles. Thank you, Ms. Jacob, for being an enthusiastic teacher and always checking in with everyone. Thank you, Jeremy Jones, for teaching me TM in 2015 and for giving me my mantra. Most importantly, thank you, Mom and Dad, for choosing this school for me to finish my last 5 years of education. To end off the speech, I would like to say to myself, take pride in how far you come, have faith in how far you can go, but don't forget to enjoy the journey. Thank you.
This is yours. It has your there you go. All right, I'm next. And I have my large print version of my speech with me because I'm that age, yeah? All right. I first met Sage Senatori when he and I were both freshmen, so to speak. Come on up, Sage. He was in my 9th grade English class in my first year at this school, in a class full of rambunctious boys plus Tristy. Sage was a calm presence, as I recall, but he also brought his distinct form of humor and creativity and passion to the dynamic. Speaking of passion, not surprisingly, he did his 9th grade thesis paper on the positive effects of video games. Sage and I reconnected his junior year when he was in my US literature class. By that time, the actual members of the class had shifted, but Sage's steady form of wry humor was consistent, as was his love of video games and all things electronic. Of all of the students in our upper school, I do believe that Sage was most ideally suited for the transition to online learning, abrupt as it was in the spring. I will never forget seeing him the first day we Zoomed, literally lit up in pink as he presided at his console like a starship captain. He came into focus in a new way for me that day, and I am still grateful for the way that he helped to facilitate our Zoom classes. He provided sound effects, for example, as we improvised in our own online production of War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. I was trying to figure out how to teach online, and I was making things up, but great sound effects. He helped facilitate a tournament when we were finally able to offer esports as a project under the guidance of Owen Blake. He also did, according to Mr. Walls, an excellent presentation on the daily life of a streamer, of course, comparing it to one of Chaucer's characters in the Canterbury Tales. I missed that one. I would love to hear that presentation. He is also an excellent musician, whether he's playing a conventional acoustic piano or creating electronic music, as we heard today in our project showcase, or some combination of the two that is beyond my technical understanding. He has worked hard on his music and other forms of creative expression over the years, which is why he has earned the recognition of his classmates, and I would say his teachers also, as the winner of the Creativity Award this year. Sage has earned a generous scholarship to attend Full Sail University, where he will pursue a degree in music production. And so not unlike Dr. Pullman, I'm betting on Sage's future. Sage, remember me when you're rich and famous? I taught you twice in 4 years. All right, and here's your folder. So you can...
Wow, thank you, that was a great speech.
Thanks.
Very. All right, thank you everyone for coming out here today. So I was born in Fairfield and raised in Fairfield, and I spent my whole life here. And I spent pretty much all of my school years in Maharishi School as well. But now it is time for me to move on. I spent so much time not knowing what I would want to do as a job. For so long, I worried about the future. Now I can realize that you shouldn't worry about the future. You should actually explore your options. That was something I really wish I did sooner. I had no idea what college I wanted to go to or what I wanted to study until around halfway through this year. I usually would just pick the projects that I thought would be the most fun in the past and not what would be most useful to me. This year, 3 of my projects were about composing music. That is my passion, and that is what I will be studying in college. I was able to find what I wanted to do very late. My advice to everyone who will still be in school next year is explore your options so that you can find what you like to do early. And that is so that you can figure out if that's really what you like to do. I want to thank all of my teachers from every year that I have been here at Maharishi School, all the way from 1st grade up to 12th grade. And each and every one of you have kept me on the path for this moment today. I want to especially thank Mr. Wells for helping me through the college research and application process. Without his help and input, I could be in a completely different situation right now. And I want to thank Mr. Deller for teaching me so much about music. I probably wouldn't be pursuing a career in music if I didn't have you as a teacher. Thank you all for listening today.
Next, Phil Benezra.
Can you hear me? Should you just go off to the side like this? Is that just leave it there?
It's okay. I think
Okay.
it's been working okay, right?
Okay. And I have the honor of presenting about Mr. Tony Lopez, if you will come up. So Tony is a remarkable student, if for no other reason than he is a bright student who has been taking regular classes as well as AP classes in a second language. Tony, I believe, as much as anyone in his senior class, has an appreciation for his transcendental meditation program. This is recognizable in the very person he is. Tony is respectful and patient. He has a wonderful ingrained habit of always respectfully greeting the teacher at the beginning of class and saying goodbye at the end of class. He is patient and respectful at the beginning of first period, and he is respectful and patient at 9 at night when we are going over technical preparations for his AP exam. Tony was in my second semester financial literacy class. Tony has a special aptitude for business, finance, and economics. He completed all his assignments in my class and did very well. He went beyond expectations in his final presentation on investing in the foreign exchange markets. He was able to connect fluctuations in currency values with economic understanding of balance of trade, changes in overall economic output of the country, as well as monetary policy. Professor Lopez gave us an extended presentation on his topic that was clear and accurate. Tony has many interests beyond academia, including boxing, piano, theater, and soccer. We are happy that Tony and his family have traveled from Ecuador to be here with us at the end of the school year. We wish for Tony all good things, and that he will be able to realize the full potential of his many talents, his brilliance, and his gracious heart. Thank you.
First, thank you, Mr. Benesra, for all that you said. It is really great to hear all the things that you said, and yeah, it made me feel happy to know that um, yes, I have an interest in business, and I think that I'm maybe deciding on that. Okay, then, well, good evening, everyone. I'm Henry Lopez, as you know. I am from Ecuador, un hermoso país ubicado en la mitad del mundo, a beautiful country in the middle of the world. I have been through 3 schools, and in this last year, I joined Maharishi School. I have been the majority of the year online, and it has been hard studying in this way, but I have had excellent teachers that helped me all the year. I think that the best decision was to travel here with my family and being in the school in person. All my teachers and classmates all the time wondered and told me, "Oh, you're real," or they even thought that I was not coming here. Yes, and I think I know I got something positive from my entire year online. I practice, I did exercise myself, and I realized and discovered many things that I like. This year, I got interesting classes that helped me in my personal growth. And I can say that financial literacy was one. Unlike my other schools, here I found a community with which I share something in common, a knowledge, which is meditation. And meditation I started practicing it since I was 5 years old, thanks to my father, because he has been a meditator for 31 years. And I'm really thankful with my family for showing me this school and then encouraging me to join it and then to achieve goals throughout all the year. I thank my teachers who maintain me under pressure many times, but with their help, I managed to finish all the year. And, and that I am also thankful with Maharishi for making the school, and I'm thankful to my family too, because they have been supporting me all this time. It was difficult at the beginning when I was starting to study in English as a second language. So with the support of my mom, my dad, my sister, and my little brother, and my another sister, and my sister Yalini, she has a really great talent in English and in another languages, and I think that in a way I am inspired from her. Yes. Then I'm thankful with God for helping me all this time to to finish the school year and all that. And also I'm very thankful with the teachers because they have supported me in different ways, not only academical, and especially with Dr. Bell, who has supported me many times in his class as well as in and in many another areas. So yes, thank you all. That's it.
Thank you, Tony. That was wonderful. Very good. Our next speaker is Asha Sharma.
Hello, everyone. So for the student I'm going to speak about, been with me from last 3 years, and I taught him 2 years. And it is just as simply another day in my biology class. And as I turn around to turn on the projector screen, an enthusiastic voice bellows, "Hello, Miss Asha." "Good morning, Matthew." I jokingly roll my eyes with a smile. Please come, Matthew. So now we greeted. Before I even turn around, I know Matthew was already seated in his usual seat where I can't avoid him or his question. I start the lesson and Matthew attentively start tracking all my moment and every single word I'm saying. Whatever I say goes in his 3-ring binder, and whatever I write on the whiteboard gets copied into his head. I have known Matthew for the last 4 years as a student who is extremely determined, compassionate, respectful, diligent, passionate, and dedicated to science. He is a very curious student and always excited to learn new concepts. Matthew's hunger to increase knowledge of science is evident in time, like when he stayed up until 3 a.m. in the morning when he is in Korea to join my anatomy and physiology class and learn live with us, even though he had 13-hour time difference. His diligence and dedication to cultivating a deeper understanding of science pushed him to take the extra effort to actually join my class when he could have just simply watched the video and work on his own time. All of this thing, sorry, I missed my space, okay. All of Matthew's experience and curiosity over the year have brought him closer to his desire to become a medical professional, where his love for science and love for people meet at benevolent intersection. Beside his strength as a scholar, Matthew is known to all as a compassionate, helpful member of every community to which he belongs. Mr. Walls says, and I quote, Matthew is a gifted writer. When he puts his heart into a piece of writing, it conveys an understated beauty, end quote. Whether it be staying after school for hours to helping a lifelong vegetarian like me to clean chicken bones for my anatomy class, and mind you, he was not even part of that class that time, or choosing to stay home in Korea this year to support his mom who was undergoing some health treatment. Matthew is the definition of an empathetic, caring individual. It is not uncommon for his teachers and his friends to find kind notes on their desks and lockers from Matthew, showing his appreciation for others or cheering them up during a rough stretch. He does everything in his power to make sure that the people around him are feeling happy and loved. And as a result, the high school students selected him to receive the Happiness Award. In Korea, he has been using his gifted ability on the cello to engage the senior citizen in his home city, supporting them during a time of increased isolation in the pandemic. That is why I'm proud to announce that Matthew has received the Performing Art Award. Matthew has selected University of Iowa as his new home for his next chapter. Matthew, I'm so proud of you, and I'm so thrilled to see how you will continue to use your care and empathy to create and spread happiness in the world. Congratulations, Matthew.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Asha. I really appreciate that. Yeah. A wise man once asked, how do you fill your days? How do you fill your weeks? How do you fill your months? And how do you fill your years? Quote, Dr. Bell. A long 12-year accumulation of choices, growth, development, failures, and success have shaped us all to be here today as the graduating class of 2021. Congratulations. It's incredible how diverse our backgrounds and our different stories are intertwined, and there's many people to thank. I can't even begin to show my appreciation and gratitude for those who have been through my journey. So let me introduce how I filled my 4 years of high school with special thanks to the people in my life. Freshman year was a very confusing year for me. I had just left my home country and had no idea whatsoever during the first few weeks of school. It took a while of getting used to speaking English 24/7, making new friends, and experiencing a new culture. I spent my first year adjusting and adapting to a new environment. I wouldn't have made it without the help of many people who had been there for me. Thank you, Ms. Jacob, for being a fascinating English teacher, leader, and academic director. You never failed to reach out to every individual in our class. Thanks to my brother, Sekou, Gabriel Ramos, for being the best host brother. I'm honored to have you as more than just a friend. I know you're not here today, but for your mom and dad, which I think is online, thank you for introducing me to your family. I hope you know you are welcome to our family in Korea anytime as well. I had the best years with you, and you will forever be my brother. 10th grade was a year for academic growth and development. I developed my interest towards biology, and I give all my thanks to Ms. Asha for being the most supportive teacher, auntie, and mother. I appreciate that you never judge a student and try to understand each individual and group at a deeper level. I promise I'll visit you and ask you many questions and challenges I face as a biology major. 11th grade was a year of challenges and personal growth. I struggled with my personal identity as being Asian American and what it meant to be exposed to multiple cultures. I finally came to the conclusion that I should acknowledge my strength as a third culture kid and use my advantage to become a diverse individual. I thank my teachers and parents for guiding me through that way. I give special thanks to my parents who are watching online today for giving me the opportunity to develop my second culture and education here in the United States. 엄마, 아빠 나 낳아줘서 너무 고맙고 아직 많이 부족한 아들이지만 이렇게 잘 키워줘서 고마워. 사랑해. I also thank my lifelong partner, my sister. I don't know if she's watching, but 나랑 같이 산다고 고생 많았고 항상 내 편 들어줘서 고맙고 네가 있어서 항상 고맙게 생각한다. Thank you, Dr. Pullman, for being in charge of the dorms filled with teenagers. I know that's pretty hard. Thank you to all the dorm students and the diverse people I've met this year. Reinhard, I had lots of fun with you, and I'll visit you too, I promise. Also, thank you to Mr. Wallace, who literally made it possible for us to go to college. I appreciate your kind understanding and patience you had with our class this year. I hope to see you around in U of I. Thanks, Mrs. Iyer, for being a really sweet and passionate math teacher, and to Mr. Iyer for being a great educator of American history. Finally, thank you, Dr. Bell. The school itself would not exist without you. I hope the future students understand and appreciate your contribution to our school. Last but not least, my senior year concluded my high school years. I thank you guys, my class. I love all you guys. Buril, you always manage to bring up the energy in our class, and I doubt I'll find anyone who has as much passion and energy as you do. I wish you the best of luck at Grinnell. Sage, I appreciate how warm-hearted you are on the inside, and I have fun playing games with you. You're a creative thinker and an artist. I hope you innovate and expand your artistic ways in college. Tony, I got to know you just this year, and it's a shame that you only just joined our class in person a few weeks ago, but I had fun getting to know you, and I had fun with you during the senior trip. Joe Costa, I had fun with you at the dorms. I promise I'll visit Vietnam one day and proudly say that I had you in my senior class. Ramel, I'm gonna miss you. You made our class really fun, and I'm gonna miss all the laughs and jokes I had with you. I really respect your consistency in playing tennis and starting new things. Shristi, I appreciate you always being there for me and for all the hard work you put into our class, student council, and school. You know a great part of me and managed to give me good advice and support. I hope you don't forget me when you become famous. And Skylar, I'm excited to go to college with you. I give you the most thanks for staying with me for the past 4 years. I know I'm not ideally the most stable or predictable person, but you never judged me for my mistakes and believed that I could go through all my setbacks. I don't express my appreciation towards you as much as I should, and I thank you for being in my life. You guys are the people who filled my years with new experiences and self-development. I give thanks to any other classmates we had throughout the years as well, which I'm pretty sure they're on Zoom. So this is how I filled my 4 years of high school, which led me to be the person I am today. And I'm proud to say that I have gone through a lot of my challenges and developed myself to grow and become a better person. I'm thrilled to continue to fill my years in college as an individual and learner. Thank you, Maharishi School.
Thank you, Matthew. Our next speaker is Jason Wall.
Right. I'm going to share a piece of writing with you that I find pretty inspiring. There aren't many seniors left, so you can guess who it is. Quote, "With a pencil and paper, we can imagine anything through words or drawings. Imagining my dreams or creating scenes on paper, the possibilities are endless. Magically soaring into the sky, a gruesome battle of gladiators, or a peaceful evening on the rooftop of a skyscraper. Anything can be imagined, and like that, anything can be achieved. On that same paper, plans can be written for that endless future, unquote. These words spark my mind with bold lines, happy streaks of color, and shimmering possibilities. They make me want to dream big. And I think Budil time has this effect on people. Well, those who know him know he's brimming with spirited curiosity, trekking toward self-improvement with the sky in his eye. When I first met Budil, I thought, wow, what a courteous young man. He emanated a warm, genuine type of politeness. I quickly learned, however, that he was not timid when he began waving and saluting in his own whimsical way. I also learned that he had recently come back from Suriname, a place which pushed him into fine-tuning his perspective. This, in the end, transformed his outlook on life, which is in part why he has received this year's Global Citizenship Award. Working with Budil as his college counselor has shown me a lot about him, but a key activity that stood out was the grit with which he approached tennis. The sincere way he described the sport in writing took physical form when he assumed a leading role on the Maharishi School tennis team. Resolutely, he attended practice regularly, and he urged his teammates to thrive, helping him earn the Bernie Segal Award. Which is given to players who demonstrate honesty and integrity in addition to sportsmanship. Moreover, Budil has earned this year's English Award. Swift and imaginative, he attacked AP English assignments, contributed deep insights in class, and slashed and reorganized his writing into polished pieces. And for his rapid generation of ideas and skill at structuring them, I bestowed him with the title, the Master of the Outline, which is a sub-award for English. I could elaborate on Budil's leadership in Boy Scouts, passion for Japanese language and culture, or involvement in robotics, but it's his overarching, committed quest for knowledge in all its forms that drives it all. He has chosen to delve further by pursuing the TM City technique, and I'm confident that at Grinnell College, he will extend naturally onto that endless paper plane that awaits him.
Thank you so much.
And there's also,
well,
where did that word?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Walls. You were really a great teacher, and you inspired me to continue writing. It's definitely really fun. What should I bring? Friends of family, family of friends, good morning and good evening, and thank you for coming. With seemingly nothing special, this small town has brought so many people together today. In the senior class alone, there are 9 individuals and 9 different cultures represented here. This is the gravitation which urged me back here for my senior year, because in 9th grade, I left this small town called Fairfield for a couple of years. And honestly, I wasn't even sure if I was going to be here today. I wasn't sure how long I was going to be away. And despite that, here I am. After I arrived, meeting my old friends after so long was oddly nostalgic and very heartwarming. And the first thing I noticed was how much everyone had matured. Matthew, Adriana, Sage, Skylar, Shrishti, Ramrel, each of whom have grown into such amazing people over the past 2 years, those past 2 years. There were a couple of new faces too, Tony and Joe. I'm really glad that they were part of this senior class, climbing to new heights with all of us. Over the next year, we all evolved simultaneously. Sage has become really amazing in music production. Adriana arduously completed her work and is admirably thorough. Matthew has become so ambitious as to declare himself to become a surgeon. Shrishti has worked so hard on her projects, and her passion for helping others is unrivaled. Jocasta has spread happiness since the first day of this year and continues to do so. Skylar displayed development in his passion for poetry, writing, and engineering, and his strong ethical compass throughout the whole year. Tony, though he was online for most of the year, I can tell he cares for his family and is empathetic towards others. Lastly, Romel has become incredibly driven towards self-development and self-growth. So I'm so glad to have been with all of you this year. And it's very weird to say this, but I'm so proud of all of you, and I'm honored to stand here with you guys. If I had not come back here, I wouldn't have seen those amazing changes, and I wouldn't have bonded with you all in this past year. So therefore, I'd like to thank all those who supported me, my teacher, my friends, and in particular, my parents and siblings. Thank you so much for helping me grow towards becoming a better person, really. There's a common tradition to give advice to underclassmen, so I'll pitch in two. The best advice I can give to you is a combination of two ideas. Seek the highest first, which we learn in SEI and CCLS, and take it as it comes, which is a very common saying here. In other words, do your best and don't be shaken by failures. Failures happen all the time, all the time. It takes a novice to give up at the first failure, but a master to continue after the 1,000th one. This next quote is from one of my favorite series, and it says, "He who would climb the ladder must begin at the bottom." As it says, one must advance by taking that first step. What would hurt more is just giving up now and forgetting all the successes previously achieved. Failures are only natural, and learning from them, we can flourish. Despite all this, of course, all the triumphs we've crossed together, and as the class of 2021, I'm still nervous for my stability to be shaken once again when I head to college. Yet at the same time, I'm also incredibly eager to jump into that future ahead. With all that being said, I'll never forget the small town of Fairfield, Iowa, the opportunities it has given me, the people I've met here, and I'll never forget the experience in Suriname and those who have looked after me. I'll never forget the online friendships and the in-person friendships I have forged over the years at school. And lastly, I'll never forget this class of 2021 and all I've learned together with them this year. Teachers, friends, families, brothers and sisters, thank you all, and let's all continue ahead as the amazing people I know you all to be.
I have had fun talking Japanese with him throughout the year. All right, and our next speaker is Richard Bell.
I suspect that you've worked out the process of elimination here, but first, a short history lesson. In the fall of 1981, the 34 original Maharishi middle and upper school students were given a chance to make history. What should be the nickname or the mascot of this brand new school? Nowhere else in the world were students, especially in a college preparatory school, taking an hour a day to transcend, investing in rest to develop consciousness, knowing themselves from the inside out. Who knew at that time, 40 years ago, whether it was even possible to have 200% of life, 100% inner development, and outer success? So maybe there was really only one option for our mascot, and that was the pioneers. But we never envisioned a man with a coonskin cap and a musket. In fact, we've never had any visual image that could adequately embody what it meant to be a pioneer. But we knew that characteristics that are most admired by the most revered pioneers. And so that first year, we also inaugurated an award to be given each year to a student who themselves demonstrated those attributes. And listen to this list: balanced, humble, kind, uplifting, respectful, responsible, stable, self-sufficient, not dependent on others' opinions. That's only the beginning. Supportive of the school, a role model for younger students, successful involvement in school activities, high achieving academic record, and openly appreciative of Maharishi's knowledge. Last year, a group of our students, with Dr. Pullman's guidance, made their own contribution to our vision of what a pioneer means by developing our house structure for pioneer prides: adventurer, innovator, trailblazer, and visionary. Add those to the list of those laudable traits. It's always been a challenge for our faculty to select just one student for this recognition, and certainly was this year. But the recipient of the 2021 Pioneer Award is also exemplary in all these ways. We're happy and now proud to add Shrishti Sharma's name to the list of our Pioneer Award winners, if you will, please. From the middle school on, we've laughed about Shrishti being 14 going on 40. And that's the very best sense of a 40-year-old. Not somber or staid, but eminently self-sufficient, impeccably responsible, and possessed of a piercing intellect that tenaciously fixates on challenges with a resolute mindset. Shrishti is determination personified. I've known grinders who work problems to submission through sheer grit and persistence, trial by error. It's not a bad trait, but from time after time in a variety of contexts, Shrishti has seen outside the box, beyond the box, with creative ideas that open fresh new paths. One of the least experienced at a summer coding camp, Shrishti and her similarly disadvantaged partner nonetheless won the competition with an innovative integrated concept linking global history and geography. Her science fair research has not only won awards, but superlatives from seasoned judges, both for originality and for highly complex technical solutions. For her sophomore year competition, Shrishti wondered if she could analyze open access Twitter postings to identify potential threats for school violence. She researched data and analyses from the FBI and other sources and developed an algorithm that ranked Twitter profiles on a 4-level scale, with red being of highest concern. She then applied the algorithm to over 126 million Twitter users, and it worked. Some concerning profiles were identified and even reported to local officials. When judges at the regional science fair saw her research, they were astonished. One commented, "She deserves the highest scores I've ever given." She was one of the finalists there and received similar encouragement in the first round of judging at the Hawkeye State Science and Engineering Fair. But that afternoon, after another round of presentations, she was informed that her project had been disqualified because it involved human subjects and she needed written approval from them in advance. That's obviously not possible with 126 million subjects. So even though Twitter users had posted voluntarily their accounts and everything was available in the public domain, the judges had to use the standard type of human subject criteria to assess her methods. Shrishti had essentially leapfrogged the normal judging criteria. She developed her own method, as practical and profound as it was. Her method also escaped the school's normal human subject oversight for student research for the same reason. This is a different domain now that required new and different consideration. And to her additional credit, Srishti understood and accepted the judge's decisions and moved on with her life and her research interests. She's distinguished herself in other areas as well. She earned national recognition for her volunteer service, including founding a Girls Who Code club that has met weekly for the last 5 years. She received the President's Volunteer Service Award and a Certificate of Excellence from the Prudential, their Spirit of Community Awards. She's been coding since the 4th grade, when she enrolled in an online course, not knowing it was designed for the college level. 4th grade. She finished the course. Shortly thereafter, she became captivated with the idea of working for the CIA. A descriptive book about CIA work disavowed her of that career choice. Working at the behest of the government seemed restrictive, but it contributed to her next potential career iteration in cybersecurity. In her freshman year, Srishti designed a phishing research project, that's PH, right? Could she entice employees of local businesses, including her own school, into opening alluring and those suspicious email messages and clicking on the link that would expose the user to identity theft and the business to hacking? She obtained all the necessary permissions, conducted the research, and yes, exposed the vulnerability in each institution. One was a tech firm. And the IT director was so embarrassed and infuriated by this evidence that he threatened to report her, to whom we don't know because his own CEO had intervened and confirmed his approval for her research and support for her findings. For this, Srishti won first place in the computer science category at the State Science Fair. We can all be glad she's on our side, that's for sure. So, despite her expansive workload, she sustains a pleasant nature and empathic awareness of others' needs, as already recognized tonight. As a classmate, as a schoolmate, as a student council officer and leader president for this last year, I've said several times to our students that in my 40 years in school administration, I've never had a student council that was so engaged and so productive in a year where that was so critically needed. I'm continually reminded of Srishti's exceptional capacity because I haven't stopped asking her for assistance. Can you put together a video about our COVID preparations so parents can see our level of commitment to their children's safety by tomorrow? Done, and done well. So it's Srishti's combination of intellectual acuity, problem-solving persistence, warm humanity that distinguishes her and has allowed her to receive this year, hold your applause, please, the Science Award, the Mathematics Award, the Leadership Award, and the Service Award. And she is a valedictorian of the class of 2021. Srishti will be attending the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill, but also Duke University because she'll have to. She received one of the most prestigious scholarships in these United States, the Robertson Scholarship, full ride for her 4 years at UNC Charlotte, but she's required to spend at least one semester in Duke, and she can take classes at both institutions during her time there. She also will be accompanying, leading as the group leader, our rocketry team. They'll be going, was one of 100 in the United States that qualified for the Nationals. So they'll be going to Brighton, Wisconsin, between Chicago and Milwaukee on Thursday for the national competition. And that team also was qualified as one of the 5 who will be having their presentation, their online, their PowerPoint presentation evaluated there for additional prizes and recognition. So an extraordinary career in our school. Shrishti, we are very grateful for all that you've contributed to this. Before I step down, I want to just make one quick interlude. I want to thank Raf Gelfand for organizing all of our video tonight, because folks, we have folks online from 33 different individuals are online from all over the world tonight. Suriname, I'm sure, Vietnam, Korea, India, Ecuador. Thank you, Raf, for making that possible for everyone. So thank you. And I'd like to also thank Trish and the juniors for preparing the reception for after our evening tonight. We're all now eager to hear from Ms. Shrishti Sharma.
Ever since I was a kindergartner, I've been on this stage more times than I can count. Thank you, Ms. Jacob. Recently, I've been on the stage with the mass more times than I can count, so. But I've never quite been able to reach this mic, whether it be physically, because of my height, or figuratively. Today, however, I'm proud to say I have finally grown into this podium. From lower school convocation wishes to announcing student council events, I have grown and regrown in so many ways possible on the stage, and that's all because of the people here tonight. You have guided me, nourished me, and encouraged me to strive to become a better version of myself, and for that, I am forever grateful. I want to start by thanking my lower school teachers, all of whom built my foundation. Miss Vetter, ever sarcastic and filled with flair, taught me the English I needed to be able to communicate with my classmates. Miss Balf challenged me to fly past the reading bins and was the first teacher to enforce a sense of self-confidence in me. Thankfully, she never actually threw me out the window like she would always joke. Miss Simpson was my first real introduction to the beautiful world of math. And thanks to her everyday Mad Minute challenges, I learned to relish healthy competition. Miss Zmachinsky, or Ms. Z, was not only my most influential English teacher, she was my most influential teacher, period. Just like many other students, she was like my second mom, and I often found myself accidentally calling her Mummy. In middle school, I had the great fortune of meeting enthusiastic, driven teachers like Miss Schindler, who brought history to life and gave high fives that would sting for hours, and Mr. Corbett, whose dedication helped every student overcome their own barriers. We are the first graduating class he has taught in middle school, which is an honor for all of us. Other teachers like Miss Davis easily became a friend with her elite taste in music and movies. And teachers like Miss Borg helped me see my own potential by encouraging me to start science fair, introducing me to the concept that I can use my own skills to develop humanity. In high school, Miss Iyer mentored me in math and life in general with her witty, humorous personality. Mr. Iyer taught me the depths to which history rhymes and patiently introduced me to tennis. Dr. Pullman taught me how to become a better critical thinker, while Mr. Walls showered me with unconditional positive regard and guidance over the last year. Miss Ellinghaus cultivated in me a love for languages and cultures, and Mr. Rudloff ignited my passion for rocketry and physics. Mr. Jones taught me the magic of teamwork through robotics, and Mark built my confidence through DI and camping with his constant care and kindness. Ms. Jacob entrusted me with her whip-smart wisdom, while Dr. Bell inspired me with his exceptional leadership and service to the school. Ms. DeAngelis and our beloved custodians enlisted in me a sense of awe for the school by so lovingly and caringly nurturing for our environment. Thank you to all the faculty and staff. I really appreciate you, and I'm sorry if I left anyone out. Time is so short. To my class and all the other students and alumni at this school who I'm so grateful to call my friends, thank you for never failing to bring a smile to my face. Whether that be through silly jokes or tight hugs, delicious food, or backhanded compliments, I appreciate you all so much, and I love you. Last but not least, I want to thank my family for their unwavering support and constant well wishes. Papa, thank you for teaching me grit. From the stories of your struggles as a first-generation student and immigrant to your evident enthusiasm as a lifelong learner, I'm immensely grateful to have even a little bit of that passion and perseverance rub off on me. Mummy, you are my rock, the one I turn to in all my moods. Thank you for teaching me the value of balance, raising me as a holistic individual, and exemplifying what it means to live life to the fullest. I've been truly blessed to have the opportunity to study at this school and to have been raised by the most caring, loving, and supportive community in the entire world. Now, as I leave this podium for one of the last times, I want to share my 2 cents with the rising seniors. As Reshma Sajani, the CEO of Girls Who Code, once said, be brave, not perfect. And I want to emphasize that as much as possible. Take risks, try new things, and don't be afraid to fail. If you can do that, you're bound to change the world. I'm now leaving this podium for other ones, but I will never ever forget that this was the one where I first discovered myself, surrounded by the people I love the most. So thank you.
So that is our evening of mutual love and admiration. And it's always fun. And I hope you've all enjoyed it. We do have a reception prepared for you in the back. And we'll see most of you again tomorrow night. Same time, same place. Thank you.